Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you as we're counting down, getting ready for WWE's Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Of course, this is going to be the day after Valentine's Day, February 15th, 2016, the go-home show to get us ready for Fastlane. As of right now, I think the only matches that they have named for Fastlane, is going to be the three-way, which is Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar, to be the number one contender at WrestleMania. And then we have Brie Bella going up against Charlotte for the Divas Championship. I'm guessing that it's probably going to be the Dudleys going up against the Usos. I'm guessing that we're probably going to see the New Day go up against somebody. I can't even think of another tag team in the division. Your Intercontinental Champion is Dean Ambrose, so that belt can't be going. Your United States title is on Kalisto. I'm thinking that it's going to be put together. He's going to be going up against Alberto Del Rio. And from there, I'm guessing that Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler are going to have match number 1003. And I guess I really can't think of anything else that is coming other than maybe if they're going to put together some sort of a six-man tag or maybe an eight-man tag with the Wyatts going up against like the Big Show, Ryback. Has Kane been on TV lately? I'm not 100% sure. I've been hearing that he works house shows, but I'm hearing that he's not booked for any television for a long time. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that deal, but I guess those are the matches that could be going. They're going to be coming up sooner than later. But Dean Ambrose, it looks like he's going to be the feature of Monday Night Raw. We saw him basically got manhandled by Brock Lesnar, not once but twice. Dean Ambrose called him out. Brock came down to the ring, and he was able to get a low blow on Brock. But as soon as he got the low blow, he didn't follow it up with the dirty deeds. He didn't punch and kick Lesnar down there on the ground. He basically ran hightail out of the ring to hide behind Roman Reigns. I know that Dean Ambrose more than likely is going to be the number one contender for Roman Reigns once he breaks free of Triple H, whether they want Triple H versus Roman Reigns to be just a WrestleMania match or if they want it to be a rematch at the Payback show. I'm guessing that the way that WWE does things is that Ambrose is more than likely probably going to join the Authority, sort of being Triple H's guy. I'm not sure how that really happens. In my mind, before I looked up and tried to figure out what was going on with Seth Rollins, maybe thinking that we could have some sort of a Shield reunion to beat the Authority. Rollins went down with an injury in December, and most people say that it might have been November because it was before Survivor Series. But his injury was going to be 6 to 9 months. For even them to hobble down to the ring, on one leg, I don't really think that that's going to happen. So my futuristic booking of that, where we get the Shield reunion for a minute, and then Ambrose turns on both of them. I'm not quite sure because if Ambrose was to attack Rollins and Reigns, if Rollins was able to go, maybe you could sort of pair off Ambrose versus Rollins for a match at Payback if you were going to do Roman versus Triple H. As a rematch at Payback. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but it looks like, we just have to keep watching Ambrose and see, this heel turn's coming. It's probably not going to happen until WrestleMania or maybe even after WrestleMania, but it's just fun to sort of break down everything that he says, everything that he does. But last week with him running and hiding behind, Roman Reigns definitely was the first real characteristic of him being a heel. Last week, we had the Dudleys come out and get in the ring with an interview, basically saying that they didn't like it, that the WWE Universe was looking at them like a one-and-done legacy act coming back for that one more trip around the sun. They basically told everyone that they're not just the guys that uses the tables anymore. They've put the Usos on notice, basically trying to make it where they're either going to be the number one contender or they're going to have a match against the Usos. But you definitely can see them heating up the tag division. If there is another team in the tag division, I guess they're getting Goldust and R-Truth together. We've seen this for the past 2 weeks. Maybe R-Truth and Goldust get the shot against the New Day. I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like a big match to get excited about, but maybe that could happen. And then, once we get the WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way tag match on the pre-show, maybe that could be the 4 teams that are competing in the ring. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, is get one more team ready. One of the angles that have been going down on Raw and SmackDown, it considers the Usos, I apologize, not the Usos, the Wyatts. And the Wyatts basically, taking down Ryback, taking down the Big Show. We've seen them take down Kane. I'm not sure. It seems like they're getting Bray Wyatt ready for WrestleMania to go up against Brock Lesnar. Are they going to have these 3 guys team up at Fastlane to try and get them together? It seems as if WWE has thrown out the plans of Undertaker against Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. That is the talk of most people going around. But for some reason or another, Raw or SmackDown, week after week, we keep seeing guys come down to the ring trying to take on the Wyatts 1-on-3. We know that this isn't going to happen, so maybe on Monday we're actually going to see them, come together as a team. The match of the week last week was definitely Chris Jericho against AJ Styles, which took place on SmackDown, where basically it looked like they were going to start the show having their match, but the Social Outcasts came down to the ring, and we had an impromptu tag match. But as the tag match was ending, we saw Chris Jericho turn on AJ Styles, making it where they would have their match after all on SmackDown. And in this SmackDown match, we saw Chris Jericho pull out a win over AJ Styles. AJ getting his first loss in WWE, but definitely making this a series of matches that you definitely want to see the payoff. I don't think that we're going to see Jericho versus AJ tonight on Raw. I think that we're going to see that at Fastlane. Maybe we see AJ going up against The Miz, who was a big deal on Raw last week with the whole Miz TV deal. Maybe you have AJ beat The Miz on Raw, and that's what gets his win back and gets him heated up to the fact that we can get ready for Fastlane. But definitely looking forward to seeing some sort of interaction, whether if it's a promo or something between Jericho and AJ Styles. Definitely a lot of people were thinking that Chris Jericho wasn't really connecting as a babyface with him turning heel. That's going to be a real thing to really highlight everything that was going down. Last week on Raw was a very sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess it was very emotional for Brie Bella, but she was named #1 contender for the Divas Championship to go up against Charlotte. Honestly, in my mind, I thought that this was a little bit weird, that it seemed like it came out of nowhere. I had to be reminded that Brie did beat Charlotte last week on Raw, so maybe the Daniel Bryan retirement was a week in planning. It doesn't really think that you'd have Brie beat Charlotte out of the middle of nowhere. But they ended up going Brie versus Charlotte and then putting Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in a tag match going up against Tamina and Naomi of Team Bad. A little bit weird to sort of put the outcasts of Team Paige and Team Bad together as a team, but I guess they have to learn to fight together if they're going to be able to survive in the Divas division. We've seen both of them get beat down by Team Bad, so now they're going to be pairing up, and maybe now at WrestleMania we're going to get that 3-way of Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch, and maybe that'll be a big, huge match for WrestleMania. But I think it's really weird that Brie is becoming the #1 contender the week after Daniel Bryan retires. Obviously, they're probably trying to pull on a lot of heartstrings. I wouldn't be surprised that this is going to be Brie Bella's last match in WWE, that she is going to be riding off into the sunset, and that would be a good thing. I mean, for Brie and Daniel Bryan to be able to settle down and actually live their life outside of the world of wrestling. So I'm looking for Brie to have a good strong showing at Fastlane, but I'm not really looking for her to be able to pull off the win there. So it looks like with Team Bella, I'm guessing that with Nikki out with her injury, that it's going to be a while before we get to see Alicia Fox. Hopefully she'll be able to find her way out there with something, but it looks like she's going to be losing her gimmick. But with no Brock Lesnar on Raw this week, they're going to be using him on SmackDown, which is a little bit weird, but I guess it's going to be able to give a little bit of a rub to SmackDown. Obviously, him and Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, they got a little bit of things to figure out. So, they're obviously not going to have a match, but they're probably going to have one hell of a promo and a little bit of a war. But Fastlane right up around the corner. We'll figure out the last few matches to be added to the card. So I think this is going to be a really good show for us to sit down and watch tomorrow on Monday. Go home show, getting ready for Fastlane. Monday Night Raw, 5-point preview. Let me know what you guys think. Fun times. Peace out, everybody, and I'll see you guys down the road.